What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I come to you today with more great news about KEEL Infrastructure. And first off, for the people that are getting upset that I only make videos on KEEL Infrastructure, listen guys, I'm not going to cover shit on the channel just for clicks. I'm not going to cover something on the channel that I don't know anything about and, just come on here just to please people. I cover things that I'm sincerely interested in and that I know a good bit about, right? The one thing that I cannot stand about some people on YouTube is that they cover stuff that they're clueless on. They don't have any knowledge about it or anything. They're just reading a script and they're just doing it for engagement and clicks. I'm not going to do that here, right? I understand. I have a lot of people in the comments wanting Soluna videos and, just other videos in general. And listen, I'm doing research on Soluna. I'm just not 100% confident enough in it yet to come on here and give details about it, right? Because one thing I have to take responsibility of is a lot of people watch these videos and take valuable information from it. And the last thing I want to do is give information that's false or give information that I don't understand, right? So just wanted to cover that at first. But I am trying to expand a little bit and we'll be covering more stuff in the future. So stay tuned for that. But moving back to KEEL Infrastructure, some great news. It come out yesterday that the COO of KEEL Infrastructure bought shares. They bought more shares on the 17th. I think they bought a total, and I'll post it up here on screen so you guys can see the filing. But he bought, I think, a little over 26,000 shares at a price of $3.73. So over the past week, we can clearly see that the team over at KEEL Infrastructure clearly think there's value to be had where the stock price is of KEEL Infrastructure is right now. Clearly they think, it's a low price. They're not going to make personal investments if they think the stock is going to go down. They're not going to make personal investments listen, they know what's happening in the background. We don't, right? We can only speculate. They know what's going on in the background. They know the negotiations that they're taking part of. They know everything about the company because they run the damn company, right? So when you see them start buying, and I mean, this was back to back. We seen the CEO, Ben, buy, and then a couple of days later, we seen the COO buy. Guys, that's very, very bullish. That's a very, very bullish thing to see when the team of a company starts buying shares. It lets you know that they see value. It lets you know that the stock could be, at its lows. Now listen, could it go down more? Of course it could. But it's just I take it as little hints, right? When you see team members buying a stock, you take it as little hints. Like even with SoFi, with Anthony Noto, every time he buys the stock, it's been a great time to buy. It kind of is. It sounds a little bit kind of like insider trading, right? Because the team knows what's going on in the background and they're buying shares. So listen, guys, you can take this however you want, but I think it is an absolute bull case for KEEL Infrastructure when you see the teams and when you see the C-suite of a company buying the shares. It's really bullish, and I cannot wait to see what KEEL Infrastructure comes out in the next couple of months and announces. I truly, honestly believe that there's a deal coming in the near future, right? They would not be doing all of this stuff at Moses Lake, having equipment on site, tearing everything down for nothing. It doesn't make sense. They're not going to build a data center to stay empty. They're not going to build a data center without a plan or a tenant. That's just not going to happen, because if they do that, they're just going to be completely pouring money down the drain, and they will go bankrupt if they don't have any kind of partners going into the data center build, right? They do have a strong balance sheet, right, where they have a little over, 600,000 in cash, or 600 million in cash, I'm sorry. They do have the funds to cover the infrastructure and stuff like that. But again, guys, they're not going to build a data center without a tenant. That's just not going to happen. I'm sorry with all these sirens. I'm trying to film a video and the fire trucks keep coming by. 1 second. All right, we're back. I had to let him pass. But all things point to a go with KEEL Infrastructure. And also, another thing that's bullish is the institutional interest is at an all-time high. All-time high. There's a guy in the Discord that posts about, the institutional interest on a daily basis. And Guys, there's so much interest. Wall Street is interested in KEEL Infrastructure. The price targets for KEEL Infrastructure has stayed the same. They haven't went down. They're up at about $6 or $7. Yes, we didn't hear what we wanted to hear with the Q1 or the Q2 earnings, right? We didn't get a deal announcement. We got minimal updates at that. People were very upset coming out of the Q2 earnings presentation because of Ben's tone and how they announced things, and it was just kind of bland and boring. But then the following week, when he came out and did those interviews on YouTube, everybody had a complete change of heart, because the way he come out on those interviews with a lot more detail, a lot more confidence, a lot more conviction, it really had people change their tune, right? So many people sold out of KEEL Infrastructure after that Q2 earnings. So many people. Because their hype and their expectations were mega high, higher than they should have been, and they got disappointed, which is fully understandable if you have set them at your bar very high for a company to achieve, right? And I always like to bring people back down to earth with my videos because, guys, KEEL Infrastructure is a small company. They're completely switching their business model from Bitcoin mining over to a completely different company, basically. It's the same kind of, data center, blah, 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 but it's a completely different customer base. It's a completely different atmosphere and just a whole different ball game. And they just redomiciled this year, right? They're moving pretty quickly. Some people might say otherwise, but in my opinion, they're moving pretty quickly and they're making really valuable progress with the steps that they're, in the process of doing right now. So again, seeing the CEO buy, seeing the COO buy is so bullish for the company. And it puts more confidence in the community to be like, okay, well, I see the big guys buying. Maybe, it gives me a little bit more. I'm a little more comfortable holding these shares. I'm a little bit more comfortable maybe buying some more shares, because Ben and team are putting their money where their mouth is, and that's very, very important. Very, very important. Because you have some companies out here where the C-suite are selling shares. And yes, it's not always negative when companies sell shares, because it can be due to, regularly scheduled distributions and stuff like that. But some of the C-suites out here are just straight dumping shares. And so it's just very good to see, and it just shows how much confidence this team has in their ability to execute. And I really think they're doing it to really show the community that, look, guys, we're here. We're doing the damn thing. We're not out here just spitting shit on these updates. We're out here being honest. And that's another thing I want to cover. And I kind of covered it in yesterday's video. There's a part of the community, and I don't even really necessarily call them part of the community, because I don't even know if they're shareholders, because they're so negative. But there's a part of the community that is like this conspiracy theory group of people. Every time Ben talks, or every time there's any kind of information out on KEEL Infrastructure, or anytime there's an interview with KEEL Infrastructure, they will take what Ben has said or what anybody has said in that interview, and they will overanalyze and just dig deep and basically pull stuff out of what they said that wasn't even intended to be taken. They just take everything out of context, and they go down rabbit holes that don't even necessarily matter to what they were talking about. They just build these conspiracy theories on why KEEL Infrastructure is not doing what they say they're doing. Like people saying they're not even building data centers. I don't even think they're building data centers. I think Ben's just out here professionally trained to blow smoke up people's asses to just buy time. They're buying time for what, guys? They're actively building. They're actively doing everything they have promised, and the timeline that they gave 18 months ago is coming true. Like, they're on time for everything. But you have this core group of people that just want to make a conspiracy theory out of everything to justify their position on KEEL Infrastructure. They will do anything to justify why they're right. They will exclude the facts. They won't take any facts into consideration. They will just do anything to make what they believe true. And it's wrong. It's 100% wrong. And that's why it's very, very important that you are very careful with who you follow and what kind of information that you soak in and believe, because there's so many people out here that are just spinning false narratives about companies that are actually doing stuff for good. Not everybody is out to get you. Not everybody is out to pull the wool over your eyes and get one over on you. Yes, it's a shame that the world has come to that, where there is a lot of people out here doing that. But in the midst of all that, there are companies out here that are trying to do the right thing, trying to build good shit for the future, trying to become a top player in the space. And I believe KEEL Infrastructure is one of those companies. I mean, just look at their portfolio of assets, all the properties that they have, how top-notch quality their properties are, their power pipeline, how sought after their 2027 power pipeline is. KEEL Infrastructure has positioned themselves in a very, very, very good spot. They have the leverage in these negotiations because they have what people really, really want, and that's power ASAP. A lot of these other companies can't guarantee power until like 2028. The end of 2028, 2029. Guys, that's a long time away. And KEEL Infrastructure is often power. And with this whole explosion in AI, the closer you have access to power, the more valuable that power is going to become. And that's where KEEL Infrastructure sits right now. They're in a very, very, very powerful position when it comes to negotiations and when it comes to what they offer to a customer. And that's why I believe when Ben says they're in heated negotiations, very interested negotiations with people, I believe him 100%. I don't have a reason not to. I don't think he's coming out here just telling people what we want to hear. Because if they were, listen here, if they were really coming out to just tell you, buy time and tell people what they want to hear, don't you think they would be a little bit more bullish and get people a little bit more excited if they were just trying to buy time? Why do you think people were so upset with the Q1 or Q2 earnings? Because they didn't come out overly bullish. They didn't come out and give people the updates they wanted to hear. KEEL Infrastructure is here doing the right things and doing what they're supposed to do. They're not people pleasing. They're not investor pleasing. They're doing what's good for KEEL Infrastructure, and they're doing what's good for KEEL Infrastructure shareholders. And I fully, wholeheartedly believe in that, 100%. And that's why I have so much conviction in KEEL Infrastructure. That's why I hold a pretty sizable position in KEEL Infrastructure. And that's also why I come on here on a daily basis most of the time, might skip a day here and there, and make these videos. Because I truly, truly believe KEEL Infrastructure has the potential to become a life-changing investment. And I want other people to take part in it. And I want other people to see that. And if people would just stop for a second and stop building all these damn conspiracy theories and just do their research for a couple of days, maybe they would realize that. But unfortunately, when it comes to investors in 2026, most of their research consists of scrolling on X, scrolling on YouTube, getting caught up in all the conspiracy and negativity around companies. And when you take the time to do your own research and you dig through, you go to their website, you dig through their investor presentations, you dig through their interviews from the team themselves, you can build a pretty strong thesis of KEEL Infrastructure. But when you're on here getting persuaded by all the shit on X, because let me tell you guys, there's a lot more negativity on X than there is positive. And you really have to weed that shit out, because 90% of people on X that are spewing shit do not know what they're talking about and have no facts to back it up. None whatsoever. You call them out on it and tell you to provide receipts, and they can't do it. They cannot do it. So I just ask people to be very, very careful with the information you take in, especially about an investment that you are heavy into. Because you don't want some goofball on X to persuade you when you have a substantial amount of money invested in a company. Because let's say they persuade you to sell, and then you miss out on a huge opportunity. And also on the flip side of that, if somebody persuades you to buy and it drops 50%, you have to be okay with doing your own research. When you make an investment, you need to understand it can go one of two ways. It could go up or it could go down. And you got to be okay with that. And you need to have a plan in place for when that does happen. If it goes up, what's your plan? If it goes down, what's your plan? It's very, very, very important to have. And these videos that I make are just a tool in your research toolbox. I'm not in here trying to tell people, look, you need to invest in KEEL Infrastructure. You got to invest in KEEL Infrastructure. You need to do it. It's going to change your life. That's not what I'm here doing. I'm telling you what I'm doing and what I see happening out in the KEEL Infrastructure world. And I'm telling you what I'm doing with my investment in KEEL Infrastructure. And I'm telling you what I see and what I get out of all the information that's coming out of the KEEL Infrastructure camp. And from everything that I've seen, this company is on track to really, really outperform in the future if they continue to execute on the timeline that they have given. And so far, they have delivered on that timeline. Then we can see this company do big, big things in the future. And I'm very, very excited to see it. Very, very excited. And I'm glad, that you guys are here along the way. It's going to be so fun in the future if KEEL Infrastructure does, do what we think it can. It's going to be so fun to celebrate on this channel with you guys. We're going to have so much fun. I'm going to do something special for everybody that's been here since the beginning. I want to do something special for the Discord if that ever happens. And it's just going to be a good time, guys. Look, there's going to be good times. There's going to be really bad times. But if we just stick together, we come together, we stick together, and we hold through the bad, we hold through the good, and we come out of the other side when the thesis of KEEL Infrastructure is played out, and we look back on this and be like, damn, man, we made it. We made it. We made it through the trenches with KEEL Infrastructure. Maybe down the road, KEEL Infrastructure is at a 10, 15, $20 billion market cap. And we're going to look back when it was a $2 billion market cap and be like, man, you remember those days? Remember when we were on here grinding every day, just following the company super hard. People were out there saying that they weren't doing shit. It's just going to be a glorious time if we are right. But there is the off chance that we are wrong. And we could be sitting down 99, 95%. You never know, right? But you just got to be okay with that risk. You got to be okay with the risk. You got to be, you got to invest money that you can afford to lose when you're investing in small caps. That's very, very important as well, because they are very risky. They are very risky, but they can be very rewarding for the patient. So that wraps it up, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Just good news after good news when it comes to KEEL Infrastructure. And I'm just very excited and very grateful to be a shareholder of this company. And I'm very grateful for the community of KEEL. You guys are incredible. The support in the Discord has been incredible. And I just can't thank you guys enough. But till next time, leave some comments down below of some videos y'all would like to see. I am trying to expand the portfolio of videos and companies that I cover, because I do see the people in the comments that want more companies. I understand. I just want to be comfortable talking about those companies before I cover them, because I don't want to come on here and just feed you slop, right? Something that you could Google, right? So let me know down below, and I'll do my best to start researching those companies and bring you guys updates, and we'll go from there. So hope y'all enjoyed it. Leave the like, hit the subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.